been over 40 years, but today the PBA is back in Omaha, and Hall of Famer Walter Ray Williams Jr. back on television after a 2+ month absence. Welcome inside the brand new Thunder Alley just outside of Omaha, Nebraska. Standing room only crowd today for the 16th event on this season's Denny's PBA Tour. And matchup number 1 pits reigning Rookie of the Year Billy Oatman versus the Hall of Famer Pete Weber. The winner of that match will then face the lefty and soon-to-be named Rookie of the Year Rhino Page. The number 2 seed occupied by the greatest bowler in history, Walter Ray Williams Jr. And our number 1 seed, Mike Scroggins. A victory today would give him multiple titles in the season for the first time in his 17-year career. Sold out crowd in Omaha. High scores all week long. 3 lefties and 2 Hall of Famers. All the elements are in place for a memorable afternoon of bowling from Omaha. Rob Stone, Randy Peterson here with you. And match number 1 pits Billy Oatman versus Pete Weber. And what an odd year it's been for Pete Weber. We didn't see him on television at all for the first half of the season. Then when he does get under the lights, he's affected by, of all things, nerves.
Yeah, it's been kind of strange. And, you know, arguably Pete Weber, the most physically gifted bowler to ever throw a bowling ball. And it's been a struggle for him his last 2 times out on television. He said he was nervous. He was overthinking it. But he said, Rob, today I'm just going to come out and just throw shots. I'm going to turn the computer off and just throw it.
Today's number 2 seed, Walter Ray Williams Jr. Well, he's been a regular in our Saturday TV production meetings, at least in the first half of the season. But we haven't seen him since December 9th. What happened?
I think our expectations are too high. You know, when it comes to Walter Ray Williams, we expect him to be there all the time, and it's just tough to get out. His last 3 events, he's finished 9th all 3 times.
We hold him to a higher standard, and Walter Ray held the top spot in the Denny's PBA Player of the Year points race for the last 13 weeks, but Chris Barnes' title last Sunday gave Barnes the lead. Now they are tied. Should Williams Jr. advance to the final, he will have taken over the lead. So match number 1 hits the 5 seed Billy Oatman versus the 4 seed Pete Weber. And an electric crowd here in Omaha. I have never seen so many signs in my life, and they are going to be shown ad nauseum today, I have a feeling. Omaha really came out to support the PBA this week and today. Billy Oatman, the reigning Rookie of the Year, will get us underway here in Omaha.
This crowd has set a new standard for PBA crowds. The most signs this place is going to rock today.
Billy misses the head pin with his first toss.
I want to start out like that.
And he looked like he struggled in practice. The last 4 or 5 shots that I saw him throw all went high. That shot was left of his target, and he leaves the nasty washout to start this match.
An open frame 8.
And Pete Weber, when he has the choice, will always make his opponent start the match. So his opponent will end up finishing the match. He wants his opponent to have all the pressure on him. Right now, Pete Weber looking solid. He looks solid in practice, and he looks comfortable.
Come on, 10!
Well, this is going to go half pocket. We call this the swish zone. Pete Weber, that rotation, gets all 10 to go down, and it's not how, it's how many.
So Oatman, the reigning Rookie of the Year, 27 years prior to that, it was Pete Weber in 1980 winning Rookie of the Year honors.
Well, Rob, the Lord giveth and the Lord taketh away, and he did right there, because Pete gets the great break on the right lane and then gets an awful break on the left lane with the stone 9.
Pete doesn't waste much time between shots. So he drops that one down, so Weber goes strike spare. Oatman, who missed the pocket and was eyeballing a washout on his first shot. Finished with 8, steps up here in the second frame with his effort. Third career television appearance and the second of the season. He finished 4th in Spartanburg, South Carolina, just before the holidays. That one too much to the right that time.
And that's what I saw him do in practice. And he looks confusing. Looks like he's not really sure where to play on the lanes. The left-handers, the southpaws this week, played around the first arrow, and depending on how much they wanted to hook it, they would move in and just kind of throw it to that spot, or they would play it like Mike Scroggins and go straight down and in from that first arrow. And right now, Billy Oatman doesn't know which one to do.
2-4-7.
And back-to-back open frames. Certainly not the way you want to start, especially bowling a Hall of Famer.
Billy Oatman is sweating like he's got the flu right now.
Yeah,
It's
he's sweating.
actually Pete Weber who's the one who's sick. Weber's been fighting cold-like symptoms since Wednesday, but you and I noticed in warm-ups that Billy's got a nice little lather going.
Yeah, well, there's been the flu bug that's kind of run its course out here on tour, and I think the only 2 people that haven't gotten it are you and I.
Way to jinx us.
Ball change and the same washout plus the 6-pin.
Having a reaction.
If you think he was sweating before, that's really going to add to it. Nothing worse than bowling on television and having a bad ball reaction. We saw Mike Devaney go through this last week. Right now, Pete Weber's got to be salivating sitting over there in the chair watching this.
1, 3, 4, 6, 7. Billy goes to his seat and disgustingly takes the towel to wipe off his brow, and now Weber steps up, and he can pretty much begin putting a Cobra clutch on this match. And yes, it's just the 3rd frame. Missed.
Well, hang on now.
We talked about how high scoring the lanes were this week, but these 2 guys proving us wrong right now.
Yeah, 1, 2, 4, 6, 10 on a shot that's wide. And for as high as the scores were, like you said, Rob, this is not the kind of start that we envisioned.
3rd washout of this match between these 2. Take a look at our Atonic Edge. We focus on the footwork of Pete Weber.
Yeah, it's kind of good feet, bad feet. This was a Tournament of Champions. Weber trips over his own 2 feet and fouls. This is the way Pete is known for throwing the bowling ball. Check this out. Perfect form, great balance at the foul line, and first frame strike.
That's the only strike we've seen from either competitor. That's looking better. Yeah!
Nicely done.
Lumber Liquidators averaged by round, and they are rolling on the Scorpion oil pattern this week. There you go, Billy. Bounce back, Billy.
Let's see what happens on the left lane. He's still looking for his first mark of any kind. But this is picture perfect. Great knee bend, especially for a 41-year-old. I think that's the biggest key in our sport, is a real stable lower body. Got to have good solid legs to build a great foundation to deliver the bowling ball.
Back-to-back jacks.
All of a sudden, it's a 7-pin match. Billy Oatman right back in this.
Now, Billy really looks like he's struggling. His wife, or his fiancée and mother in town. Mom Joyce, his fiancée Annette. Pete responds by leaving the 7. This is 7th top 10 result of the season, but he is winless on television this season.
And a good pitch there, just a bad pin carry again with Pete leaves the blower 7.
Takes care of the 7, and take a look at the big picture matchup between these two guys. And yesterday we were talking to Pete Weber, Randy, and I asked him to describe the lanes this week, and he said, very easy. Now, that sounds good to the ear, but is that really a good thing for a competition like this?
Well, I mean, I like to see a variety of scores. And, you know, I think when the scores get outrageously high, I don't think it's good for anyone. Of course, the fans like to see that on Sundays. And you know, I'm all for big scores on television, but only if you earn it.
Hello, Pocket.
I think it's much better for the lanes to be more of a medium scoring pace. I think the cream always rises to the top when you see that.
Oatman struggled mightily to start this one off, but he has dropped back-to-back strikes. Weber's lead reduced to 7. We'll wrap this one up when we return. The Pepsi Championship is brought to you by Pepsi, the official soft drink of bowling. By Denny's, home of the real breakfast made just for you. By Geico, 15 minutes could save you 15% on car insurance. Visit geico.com. And by Go RVing. Visit GoRVing.com for a free DVD. What will you discover? Go RVing. Welcome back to Omaha. This earlier, the PBA and Pepsi welcoming Ken Wilsey of Concordia, Missouri. He was selected as the winner of the $25,000 Pepsi Strike Gold with the Pro Sweepstakes. If that was an X, he would have collected $25,000. Instead, he knocks down 9, gets a G for every pin. $9,000 check. There's Candace McGrath of the Pepsi Bottling Group, handing over the cash to our friend Ken Wilsey, and Ken in the crowd. And what an awesome crowd it is here at Thunder Alley. Thunder Alley just opened in October. It was a dicey beginning for Billy Oatman this afternoon, but he is in a groove, looking to go 3 in a row, looking for our first turkey of the day.
Uh-oh, Pete.
3 in a row.
One more strike, and we're looking for our first.
Ham bone. We have some intense ham bone signs in this crowd. This place could go nuts if Oatman collects another strike, and I would be one of them.
Well, I'm confident that Billy now has a pretty good idea of what he's doing on the right lane. Let's see what happens on the left lane. Remember, only one mark, but it was a good mark. It was a strike.
Hey, Randy, you know what would make that soup even tastier? Put a little ham bone in it. I have chills this week looking at these ham bone signs. Did you see the ham bone shirts over there those kids were wearing?
I did.
Scary. Absolutely frightening. How will Pete Weber respond to the ham bone? Pete, that's a double of his own.
That's how a Hall of Famer responds. Now it's a 3-pin match. Pete trailing by 3, looking to take the lead back with a strike here in the 8th frame.
4th strike of this match for Pete Weber. 2 on the left, 2 on the right. Looking for his first win on television this season. And now looking for a 3-bagger. Look, nice.
Wow, good stuff there. You know, you talked about the scoring pace this week. We had 12 300s. We had 2 7-10 splits made this week by Rhino Page and Michael Fagan. But the scores were good, and now all of a sudden we're starting to see what we anticipated. The guys throwing a lot of X's.
Now, Billy Oatman told us 5 strikes in a row. There is a big sign out here and a new phrase. Let's see if we can find it. A 7-pin away from dropping the nickel.
It's a nice run, but unfortunately, Billy Oatman's his string ends, and he'll be trailing by 8 if he converts the 7-pin.
takes care of the 7-pin. And now we fire up the foundation frame. Oatman to begin the 9th, down 8.
Billy not as animated as he normally is. He looks visibly like he is not feeling well, and maybe he's caught that flu bug.
Well, you heard some sniffling going on. You saw the sweating. I'm not a doctor, but I play one on television.
Good shot there. And that's the foundation frame. Billy Oatman wanted to strike in the 9th frame there to set up the 10th. And this is a good shot. Now with a spare here, he can strike out and shoot 203. Pete Weber right now in the low 200s, but working on a 3-bagger.
Billy picks up the spare.
A strike here in the 9th and the first strike in the 10th frame, and Pete Weber will advance, and there's nothing Billy Oatman can do about it.
Pete Weber strikes in the 6th, 7th, and 8th frames, looking for 4 in a row, looking for a ham bone, looking to blow the roof off of Thunder Alley. Get your sides up! I see you, Pete!
I think that was for you, partner.
There's my ham bone t-shirt, kids. I'm telling you, I'm going to get a real estate agent this afternoon and look to move in to Omaha.
Watch this. This is going to be 10 back. This is what we call high flush. Pure shot by the Hall of Famer. And there's a little react for Rob Stone.
I just got a chop shot. Thank you, Pete. I'm blushing.
This to seal the deal.
He's had some really nice shots.
I thought I had a strike.
That look like done deals.
Converts this 9-pin, and Pete Weber will advance. But watch this. See if we can get a shot of the bowling ball going through the pins. Pete Weber knows this is a great shot. Watch the bowling ball go right by the 9-pin. Keep it on the lane. Pete Weber needs 3 pins to advance.
There's a spare pickup that we just saw. Right through the belly of it.
Just keep it on the lane, stay behind the foul line.
And Weber gets his first win on television of the season. Billy Oatman will roll out, and Weber will win it. 2:11 to score, and you see him. A little breath of relaxation, a little finally type exhale there. It's Oatman. Too bad he couldn't find that groove in the opening frames. Otherwise, he might have been the one moving on.
Found it late. He made the right adjustment. He left a couple of 7 pins there late in the match, and that's going to cost him. Keep in mind, P. Weber shot 211, only missed the pocket once.
Make adjustments faster.
Here, Billy Oatman, make adjustments faster. He was telling us yesterday that he gets most of his help through instincts and through his journals. He records on a tape recorder about each block, what went well, what didn't well, and Oatman continues to enjoy making a living on the PBA Tour. He was telling us yesterday, I don't want to go back to delivering pizzas. Keep showing up on TV. You don't need to do that, Billy. So Weber will move on to take on the rookie Rhino Page. Oatman. And you know he's saying to himself, where was this in the beginning?
And you know Rhino Page likes the looks of the last 8 frames or so that Billy Oatman threw 7 out of the last 9.
Our CLR clean sweep. It's got a little ham bone to it. 6, 7, 8, 9, all strikes.
Rob Stone, here's your ham bone.
Oh, man. When our coverage returns to Omaha, 24-year-old Rhino Page will look to add to his record-setting rookie campaign. Oh, man, this is an awesome show. This week's Go RVing on the road will pack the bags and head to Indianapolis. The Denny's World Championship coming your way from Woodland Bowl. Live coverage 12:30 Eastern next Sunday on ESPN. After that, we head to the capital of Ohio, Columbus, for the Don Johnson Buckeye State Classic. Again, live coverage at 12:30 Eastern, Sunday, March 2nd on ESPN. Take a look at our updated brackets, and so far it's held true to form. Number 4 seed Pete Weber taking care of Billy Oatman, 211 to 203. Up next, the 3 seed, the rookie, the 24-year-old from Topeka, Kansas, Rhino Page. And Page will bat leadoff for us. A lot of friends and family in the crowd today and all week for Page here in Omaha. Great start for the rookie, and what a fantastic season it's been for him.
Yeah, let's just hand Rhino Page the Rookie of the Year award now, because there's nobody that's going to catch this young man. This could possibly be the best rookie season in the history of our sport. The only thing missing for Rhino Page is a title.
Pete Weber has 34 titles in his career. Looking for 35. And starts off with a matching strike. Rhino Page, number 2 on the average list, 227.37. No rookie has ever finished that high in the 49-year history of the PBA Tour. And there's Pete Weber's numbers. Both rollers starting off with a strike here in match 2. Here's Weber to start us off in the second frame.
You've been served, Mr. Page.
Tired of the 9 pins already.
Well, let's see what Page has here. This is 5th top 10 finish. Finished number 6th last week. The Bear Classic, making his 4th televised appearance, tying a rookie record.
Set back in 1964.
We had to dig for that stat. Nothing but strikes in match 2.
Yeah, he just shredded the rack there. That's shrapnel. Really good style, form, a lot of confidence. And watch the power hit the 1-2 right in the face. And there's just pins flying around everywhere. A lot of maple moxie in this young man's left arm. This kid can really bowl. Make no mistake about it.
Three-bagger to open it up.
Let's go, brother. Come on.
And Rhino is into it. Well, this is back and forth strikes.
Normally when you throw him right there, all 10 are going to go down. And right now, Pete Weber knows he's in a street fight.
Pete to match Page here in the 3rd. In his 115th televised appearance, PDW has gone nothing but strikes here in match number 2. Both bowlers sitting on a ham bone. That may not have come out correctly. Let's just change that. Both bowlers now with the opportunity to roll for a ham bone.
There you go, partner.
I love it. Absolutely love it.
Now watch the reaction of Pete Weber after he gets this fourth strike in a row. That's experience. That's a Hall of Famer. He knows he's in a fight right now. He doesn't want to burn himself out early.
We may be eyeballing PBA history. Back-to-back ham bones.
Yeah! Ham bone! The one thing about Rhino Page is he's not scared. His kid's got a lot of confidence in his ability, and that's why he's done what he's done this season.
We saw some struggling in match one, some washouts, some odd leaves. Why are we seeing nothing but strikes right here?
Well, first of all, the southpaw Rhino Page is playing a completely different part of the lane than Billy Oatman tried. And the trying to play further outside. Pete Weber, in my opinion, has just gotten comfortable. He's broken right side, and he knows exactly what his ball is going to do when it leaves his hand. So the comfort level for both players much, much higher in this match.
Rhino Page, a 7-10 split this week at the position round of 32, one of two rollers to accomplish that this week here in Omaha. We saw 12 300 games as well.
Strike! Take him any way I can get it. Well, it's okay to be a little lucky, too. That was a bad shot. Rhino knows it. Pete knows it.
Yeah, the heck of a miss.
But Rhino gets the huge break and continues to keep the string alive.
We are getting spoiled here in match number 2.
Looking for 5 in a row.
What do you call that, partner?
T-bone?
All right, now this is what revolutions and power will do for you. Watch this ball go light. This is why you put rotation and revolutions on a bowling ball, so you carry hits like that.
This is the Motel 6 sixth frame. If Weber can get a strike here in the 6th, he'll earn $600 from Motel 6, the official lodging partner of the PBA. He'll also be eligible for a $6,000 bonus if he throws the front 6 more than any other bowler on TV this season. After Weber's done, Rhino Page is going to have a chance to convert the Motel 6 front 6.
Let me just give you a couple of Ebonite Digitrax numbers. Ball speed, Pete Weber 17 miles an hour, Rhino Page 20 miles an hour. Rhino much firmer, so he's going to be going straighter. Pete Weber's opening up the lane a bit more with the softer speed. He's a bad mammal! Bad mammal!
6-pack for Weber. Folks, you may be witnessing history here. Fire up your DVRs. Call the neighbors over. We've already had 2 ham bones in this match. The conclusion of Page, Weber from Omaha when we return. Welcome back to the 2008 Pepsi Championship. It's the first PBA stop in Omaha since 1967, and we have a classic going for you right now. Time now for the Motel 6 voting result from last week. We asked you which bowler would you like to see competing in the 2008 Motel 6 Roll the Riches, and Chris Barnes dominating the Pod 3 results. So he'll advance to the final vote on February 24th. Rhino Page, right now, his effort in the 6th frame. It has been nothing but strikes here in match number 2 for both Pete Weber and Rhino Page. And the luck runs out. But a great run from the Rook.
This ball here is going to go high. Rhino Page knows that as soon as it left his hand, maybe an adjustment in his future.
Page missing the opportunity to convert on the Motel 6 sixth frame. It takes care of the spare.
Remember, his last shot on the left lane went Brooklyn. That shot goes high, and right now Rhino Page is thinking, okay, was it just bad shots, poor execution, or is it time to make an adjustment with my feet and my target?
Omaha, about 3 hours from his home in Topeka. Actually, right now he's living with the Baumgartner family and their 2 kids. Trevor and Trent have been staying with Rhino since Tuesday in his hotel room. I'll tell you more about that in a second. And then misses the head pin here.
All right.
All right, and that's what we saw Billy Oatman do in match number 1. He gets it too far to the left of target, and that's no man's land. The ball's not going to hook back from that spot.
Ball hurts my eyes to look at.
Does it have a battery pack attached to it? That thing is bright.
Man. So pretty much all week, Rhino Page has been shacking up with 13-year-old Trevor and 10-year-old Trent Baumgartner. We asked him what it's like living with a couple of these kids in your hotel room. I learned they're expensive, and it's tough to keep them entertained. They are here today because they love bowling, and they are seeing a wonderful effort here in match number 2 from Rhino Page. And now Pete Weber looking to go 7 straight strikes. Audacious 10-pin. It even got a little late nudge there.
Yeah, good shot, a little weak 10. With a conversion, Pete Weber will maintain a 13-pin lead. Not the best of shots. Watch how soft it turns over down the lane. Pete Weber wants a little bit more reaction down lane to kick that 10 out.
That TV break put an end to both of these guys' strike streak.
Yeah, with 116 telecasts under your belt, you're used to the commercial breaks, and Pete Weber is a veteran. He's used to that kind of stuff. And right now looking to get back on the gravy train with biscuit wheels.
We asked him what his goals were at this stage of the season. He said, just win. I just got to get that one title this season.
Oh, huge break there, chipping that 9 late.
Suddenly both bowlers scratching their heads.
Well, this is what happens a lot of times when you leave a weak 10. You decide to give it a little extra at the bottom at the release point, and that ball just starts to dive real sharp into the 1-3 pocket. Pete almost leaves a 4-7-9. Just the 4-7. Nicely converted and still maintains an 11-pin lead.
In match number 1, Weber rolled 7 strikes en route to beating Billy Oatman 211 to 203. Up now the rookie and the number 3 seed, Rhino Page.
And after throwing 4 solid strikes, he goes Brooklyn, through the nose, and then flags the head pin.
And he's making an adjustment to his ball as well.
Little tape. Want to make sure that grip is nice and snug. You don't want to get in there and squeeze on it. You want your hand nice and relaxed in the bowling ball.
The winner of this match to take on the living legend, Walter Ray Williams Jr. Page in the 8th, off of back-to-back spares. Back on the strike train.
Again, staying away from the outside part of the lane. Rhino Page a little bit straighter down and in from about second arrow. He knows that if he gets it too far to the left, it's not going to hook back, so he's going to try to play a little bit more towards the middle part of the lane. Ball speed, I think, is also another issue. A little too fast going away with it. The ball's not going to read the pattern.
tight all week.
A little issue on that left lane. If he gets it going too straight up the lane, it goes Brooklyn. A little too far to the left, it goes light. Again, I think it's a speed issue. And with a spare here, he'll still be in the 230s. Unfortunately for him, his opponent, Pete Weber, is in the 240s.
Weber could max at 267. Best Page could do now 246.
And all Pete Weber has to do is go strike in the 9th, spare first ball in the 10th, strike on his fill shot, and he'll shut out Rhino Page.
That's all he has to do?
Yeah. He doesn't have to double or strike out. Yeah, I'm not trying to make it sound like it's easy. It's not. If it was easy, anybody could do it. And that's the biggie right there, because now, with a strike in the 10th frame, it's over.
He opened up this match with 6 consecutive strikes, then went spare, and now finding strike again in the foundation frame.
How did that ball go high?
Now Pete Weber has a decision to make. Does he try to convert the 3-4-7, or does he just go for count, meaning the 4-7? If he goes for count,
I ain't even moved.
he'll shoot 235. Rhino Page would need all 3 in the 10th to win by 1.
What would you do?
I'd go for count. Pete's going for it. All 3.
I admire his bravery and guts, but the execution was lacking there. He'll end up 231.
And I'm sorry, I misspoke there. Rhino Page would have had to go strike spare.
I don't know how that
Pete
ball
Weber
went
did the
high.
right thing, I believe, in trying to go for it, to convert it and go for the
That
win.
ball was high.
Rhino Page now needs any kind of mark and good count the 10th frame. And he's going to advance to take on Walter Ray.
Unbelievable.
TV troubles may be continuing for Weber. 3 seed. Rhino Page needs a mark and count to move on.
Look good from the get-go.
And the key thing right now for Rhino, it's something you and I have been talking about for weeks, is keep that emotion in check.
Well, he got the mark he was looking for. That's all he needed. Now this ball, he's going to take a spare ball and throw it straight down the middle. He just needs count. This match is over. He's going to take Walter Ray on in the next match.
Slams 8 down. Rhino Page, a big win over the Hall of Famer.
What an incredible turn of events. When it looked like Pete Weber couldn't miss the pocket. Goes right through the nose in the 10th frame. He had the match all but sewn up. He needed a mark. Rhino Page wins and moves on.
236, 231, a wonderful match which began with both competitors going frames 1 through 5 with nothing but strikes. So Page moves on. 1 Hall of Famer down. Cue the 2nd Hall of Famer. Age, it's only a number to Walter Ray Williams Jr., the 48-year-old living legend, hunts title number 45 when we return to Omaha. The Pepsi Championship is brought to you by Atonic, the official footwear of the PBA. Atonic, first one there. By Motel 6, official lodging partner of the PBA. By H&R Block. When you got H&R Block, you got people. And by the United States Bowling Congress, ensuring the integrity and protecting the future of the sport of bowling. Bowl with us. Welcome back to Sold Out Thunder Alley, standing room only or sitting room only if you're one of the lucky few to have been upgraded to the Aaron's Dream seats. There's a look at our winners this week as we take a look at the updated Stepladder. And again, this tournament, final 5 at least, is held true to form. Pete Weber, the 4 seed, moved on, but he was knocked off by the 3 seed, Rhino Page, 236 to 231. Up next, Walter Ray Williams Jr. and Mike Scroggins waiting in the wings. He'll take on the winner of this match.
Rhino Page owned Walter Ray Williams Jr. in this event throughout match play. In their first game of match play, Rhino Page beat him 299 to 255. And then the 17th game of match play, they faced one another again. Rhino Page beat him again, 278 to 239.
And all of this, a nice primer for the 3rd major of the season. Next week, we're in Indianapolis, where for the 8th time, Woodland Bowl will host a major. It's the Denny's World Championship. Live coverage next Sunday, 12:30 Eastern on ESPN. And Walter Ray Williams Jr., for a majority of the season, has held on to the #1 spot in the Player of the Year rankings list. If he wins this match, he will reclaim the #1 spot from Chris Barnes. And we asked him about, when the season started, was Player of the Year even on your mind? He said, at 48, it's not a true consideration. Then I started doing well, and I said, all right, maybe I got a shot at this thing. And then he started saying, all right, I'm going to need another win the way Barnes is rolling. Now he's saying, I'm going to need a couple wins and maybe a major the way Barnes is rolling. Rhino Page, the way he's rolling, everybody watch out. This rookie is going to make some serious news in the future.
But in order to do that, he better figure out this left lane. He did get a couple more practice shots after his last match against Weber, but this is a lane he struggled on. And I think it's interesting that Walter Ray decided to let Rhino.
And welcome back to Omaha. We apologize for our technical difficulties. Some nasty weather has hit this area of the country. Here's Walter Ray Williams. Strike, strike, spare. Here he is in the 4th.
Remember the shot or the line that Pete Weber was using? He was a little bit more towards the center part of the lane and kind of throwing it right to that spot right there where Walter Ray is playing. The way I see it, if Walter Ray misses a little left of target, he's going to throw it right into the dry boards that Pete Weber was using. I think Walter Ray needs to move in more towards the center part of the lane and hook it just a little bit more.
Walter Ray remains perfect with single spare conversions this week as he takes a seat. His lead at 9 over Rhino Page. Page bowled collegiately at the University of Kansas, where he was a member of their 2004 Intercollegiate Bowling Championship winning team. First team All-American in 04-05. So now a double for Page. After starting with 2 spares, he now goes back-to-back strikes.
Rhino Page is really taking advantage of his opportunities this week. He barely made it into match play, qualified 32nd. But in match play did some serious damage, and one of those guys that he beat both times, Walter Ray Williams Jr.
Kept saying to us yesterday, what a week it's been. The scores are really high. He's saying to myself, man, I need 1,000 for the next 4 games. He hit it on the dot, sneaking his way into the round of 64. A wild week. He didn't even think he was going to make it in the top 64. And here he is, 1 win away from bowling for the title here in Omaha.
Well, the scoring pace has slowed down a bit, primarily because of the lanes going through transition. Walter Ray needs to fine-tune where he's playing. Rhino Page trying to get redialed in, so to speak. He's close, but not close enough to knock all 10 down.
Takes care of the spare. Walter Ray pops back up. And interesting about Walter Ray, he has made the finals all 3 times the Scorpion oil pattern has been used this season. Scorpion, 41 feet, a little bit more oil placed further down the lane. Hello, pocket.
And when you see Walter Ray take that little sidestep when the ball's about 5 feet from the pocket, he knows it's pretty good. See, that time the 6-pin goes to the sidewall, cuts the 10 in half. That's the type of stuff he's looking for.
They are even after 5 frames.
163 shows. That's a lot.
143 victories on television. That, too, is a lot.
Come on, baby. Come on. Yes.
When he gets on his pony, starts giddying up. He likes it. Those two were picture perfect.
Walter Ray looking to advance to his 86th title match of his illustrious career. We'll find out if he can do it. When we return to Omaha, he has a 10-pin lead right now over Rhino Page. Six-time PBA Player of the Year, Walter Ray Williams Jr. with a 10-pin lead. PBA.com is your best source for all the latest PBA news, including information about PBA Experience bowling leagues. And these leagues, which are a joint venture between the PBA and the USBC, give league bowlers a chance to bowl on the same oil patterns that the pros compete on each week. Leagues are constantly forming, so head on over to PBA.com today and click on the PBA Experience link to find a league in your area.
And I think that's one of the best things that ever happened to our sport. Those PBA Experience leagues, you get to really find out what our players are bowling on a weekly basis.
Page working on a spare in the 6th. Wow. Heavy on that one.
Not a great looking ball reaction for Rhino Page. And quite honestly, I think he's in a world of trouble because Walter Ray is not going to miss the pocket. And Rhino Page is already trailing in the match.
So another spare for Page to go with his 2 strikes.
Rob, let me just give you some Ebonite Digitrack numbers. Rhino Page in game 2 was throwing it about 20 miles an hour. He's actually slowed down to about 18 miles an hour. You see what our guys average this week? Or excuse me, the average leaders for this season. You touched on the fact that Rhino Page, number 2 in average. Pretty incredible, again, for a guy that has to come out of the TQR.
Both players having a clean game so far, but it's an 11-pin lead for Williams.
Oof. That made that easier.
And again, here's what's interesting. The Digitrack's numbers are saying that he's actually slowing down, and the last 2 shots have gone high. And I'm thinking he needs to go the other way. Firm the ball, speed up, keep the ball on line.
He doesn't have much time to right that wrong. Walter Ray's waiting in the wings, having bowled consecutive strikes. Rhino whips that one. And there's his first open frame.
And a big mistake late in the match. But for our fans that are new to the Ebonite Digitrack system, it's a digital tracking system that gives us accurate data of ball motion on the lane. Thank you, Kenny Samard and Dino Castillo. You stay classy, guys.
Thank you, Ron Burgundy.
Look out.
Man.
God, that was horrible. Come on, what are you doing, man?
Just a bit outside with this shot, Rob. You know, a lesser bowler would have left the 2-8-10 with this shot here. Walter Ray, the legend, only leaves the 8-pin.
And a wobbly 8 at that. Great react.
You know, one thing that Walter Ray is using right now that we rarely sees, he's got a little wrist band going on his right wrist there, and normally the players use that when they start getting sore wrists. A lot of times that will add some extra pressure to the ligaments in the wrist area there. A lot of times it's just for heat. A lot of times it just makes the wrist feel better. And I'm not a doctor, but you are. Maybe you can explain why.
Better? Come on.
Liked it.
Come on.
Messenger. down! Get down!
That is so gnarly! Just when it looked like a weak 10, he gets the soft messenger to roll the 10 late. Watch this. Head pin coming off the sidewall. Come on, baby.
Candygram for 10 pin. Candygram for 10 pin.
Oh, my God.
Now will Rhino Page respond? An open frame in the 7th. He sits at 134.
Not bad, Rook. Not bad.
Ball change. Rhino Page says, all right, now's the time.
Good move.
Third strike of this match for Page. We begin the foundation frame, the 9th. You see Page can max at 224.
Shot. Rhino Page at the perfect time is starting to heat up like a piece of beef at a Mongolian barbecue.
You've been waiting since dinner last night to drop that one.
Check out this. Walter Ray rolls the late 10. Rhino Page says, you know what, I can do a little bit of the same, buddy.
Bottle from Walter Ray.
Come on.
How about a little tomahawk 10? That puts Walter Ray in the 220s, the high 220s. The best Rhino Page can shoot is 224. Remember, Pete Weber in the last match had Rhino Page in this exact same situation. Open the 10th frame, open the door for Rhino Page. But this is the great Walter Ray.
In the 10th, looking for a 3-bagger.
And finding it.
And that's all she wrote. Walter Ray will be in the 230s.
Walter Ray will move on.
Watch the 10-pin go out late again. This match came down to Walter Ray getting out that 10-pin.
Now time for a little ham bone momentum.
You gave him the kiss of death, partner. Don't throw anything, all right?
You hear the applause from the crowd. That's a disgusted applause. Walter Ray Williams Jr. in his first televised appearance since December 9th of last year will move on to the title match. And he will take on Mike Scroggins. 236 goes Walter Ray.
And he'll retake the lead for the Player of the Year race over Chris Barnes. And what a gutsy, outstanding performance
Too late, Hoss.
by Rhino Page. And you're right, that adjustment came too late.
Rhino Page can take a little ham bone momentum here to Indianapolis as he gets set for a master, for a major. I know.
You just won't leave it alone.
Because the crowd wants to see it. Give me a ham bone.
There you go.
Easy now.
Is that a real ham bone? Is that actual
I think that's a real ham bone.
bone marrow on that
saw,
sign?
I saw flies on it earlier.
Looked like some meat on that bone. I'm like going over there for a little lunch break.
Young man's got a bright future.
Well, that future maybe now. He drops a nickel. Not enough to take down a Hall of Famer. 236, 224. Walter Ray Williams Jr. moves on to the final set. Number 1 seed Mike Scroggins waiting in the wings. Take on Walter Ray Williams Jr. We close in on our title match next. Sold out crowd here in Omaha, and we'd like to thank Ted Baer, the owner of Thunder Alley, for making that happen, and all he's done this week. A wonderful stop, and we look forward to
hopefully coming back here to Thunder Alley. Next week, though, we will be in Indianapolis for the third major of the season. Woodland Bowl, our host. It's the Denny's World Championship. Live coverage next Sunday, 12:30 Eastern. For the Motel 6 text to vote question this week, the PBA has placed the top 16 in points after the Big Weber Open into 4 voting pods. This week's question, which bowler do you want to see competing in the Roll to Riches? Text Roll A to 30997 for Wes Malott. Roll B to 30997 for Parker Bone III. Roll C to 30997 for Mike Devaney. Or Roll D to 30997 for Tommy Jones. The winner of each pod will advance to a final vote on February 24th. You can text in up to 10 times per day until Friday at 3, and you'll be charged 99 cents per text vote plus standard text messaging rates. After struggling on the tube, Mike Scroggins is suddenly must-see TV. Scroggy looks to push his TV win streak to 5 straight. Yeah! Next. The Pepsi Championship is brought to you by Aaron's. Nobody beats Aaron's. Nobody. By CLR, all kinds of dirty, one kind of clean. By Go RVing. Visit GoRVing.com for a free DVD. What will you discover? Go RVing. And by Denny's, home of the real breakfast made just for you. Buffalo, New York, Medford, Oregon, and now Omaha, Nebraska. Selling out their venues for PBA bowling this season. We are live from Thunder Alley in Omaha for the 2008 Pepsi Championship. Rob Stone, Randy Peterson with you as we get set for our title match. And everything has gone to form. It'll be the 2 seed, Walter Ray Williams Jr., taking on the number 1 seed, Mike Scroggins. Randy, how'd we get here?
You want me to tell you, Rob?
I do.
Okay, here you go. Match number 1, Pete Weber defeated Billy Oatman by the score of 211 to 203. Pete's late 4-bagger put the match away. Match number 2, Pete took on Rhino Page. Rhino Page beat the Hall of Famer 236 to 231. Weber's open in the 10th, sealed his fate. Match number 3, the great one, Walter Ray Williams Jr. took on Rhino Page, and he beat Rhino by the score of 236 to 224. Walter Ray Williams Jr. struck in the 7th, 8th, and 9th to shut out Rhino.
And that's your Geico Championship recap. And Walter Ray will bat leadoff here in the title match.
His 86th title match of his career.
All right, good shot, good shot.
Will the party at Scroggy's continue? Or will Walter Ray win his 45th career title?
Oh, my.
Well, get that on TiVo and replay it, because I can't remember the last time I saw Walter Ray miss a single pin spare on television.
Ball's not supposed to hit.
You have got to be kidding me.
A layer of paint between those two. So here's Mike Scroggins, your number 1 seed, giving an early opening.
The lefty. Hey, Randy, bring the cooler over. There's a 10-pin party in the pit.
You were so waiting to say that all day.
We are going to be with you till the conclusion of this match. Scroggins with an early lead as Walter Ray Williams Jr. missed the 10-pin conversion. Here's Scroggins looking for a double to open things up.
And finding the...
And Mike Scroggins early on using the same bowling ball with 2 different surfaces. I think it's real interesting to note that, you know, he made a big comment about how much his equipment has helped him this season, and we'll get back to that in a moment.
Hall of
Famer left the 10 in frame number 1, leaves the 7 in frame number 2.
And what's going on? He misses the 10 pin, and then this is just a bad shot.
Takes care of that single pin pickup.
Yeah, there's no way he's missing back-to-back single pins, is there?
I wouldn't have
In
thought
this
he would have
lifetime?
missed one. Take a look at the matchup, and the big number right here, Randy. Mike Scroggins with the win becomes the 38th millionaire in PBA history. That is more like it.
By the way, the next time you draw my telestrator, ask permission first.
Yes, sir.
All right, this is what he does best. Great shot here. Says, all right, I don't know what I was thinking the first 2 shots, but I'm back on it.
We asked Scroggins yesterday his thoughts about becoming or hitting that million mark, and his response, no way. Didn't know that was something that could happen. I never thought I could do that in bowling. Oh, what a start. What a start from Mike Scroggins.
Getting back to the equipment issue with Mike Scroggins, he says, the balls have really helped me out. The equipment I'm using, in fact, he's using the same ball he used back when he ran the field at the Dick Weber Open. But the interesting note is he actually went to college with the man that invented the bowling ball he's using, Hank Boomershine.
Scroggins up 31. Strikes in the first, second, and third. 4 strikes in a row. You know what it is. Get your signs ready, Omaha.
Another pen is thrown as my partner Rob is visibly shaken by the fact that possible handbone went right out the window with this shot right here that Mike Scroggins leaves the 3-pin on. That's okay, partner. You'll have another shot at it. Trust me.
We asked Scroggins yesterday his goals for the season. He said just to get exempt for next year. He's been having some ankle problems with that left ankle. Didn't expect a whole lot this season. And I said, now what do you expect? You're having such a wonderful season. He said, I'd like to do well in the 2 majors. Maybe finish in the top 29 at the U.S. Open. We got to increase those expectations. And he goes back to leaving the 10.
Yeah, and that's the wrong kind of 10 pin, the weak 10, where the 6-pin just kind of falls DOA right there in the right channel. Walter Ray, 10-pin in the first frame, 7-pin in the second, strike in the third, another 10-pin in the fourth. And, I think Walter Ray going into this title match should have been very confident. The left side doesn't look all that strong. It's got some traffic already from Billy Oatman and Rhino Page. Mike Scroggins likes to go down and in and straight. You wouldn't think that would favor that type of style after all of the traffic on that side. Very odd start to this title match. And there's a bad shot and a trip for it.
Gets away with it.
And I mean, it just looks like a total loss of concentration for Walter Ray. I mean, he misses a single pin spare, throws a bad shot in the second. Wow. There he carries the 4-pin. He just said, I threw it that bad and I get a strike. Very strange.
Scroggins is going strike, 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 spare. Here he is in the 5th. Gets back on the strike train.
And after one of the worst losing stretches for Mike Scroggins, boy, he's really turned it around at the Dick Weber. That's where it started. In our Flomax weekly update, you can see where Mike Scroggins was last week. Boy, did he turn it around in a hurry.
Now, Scroggins broke an 8-game losing streak at that Motel 6 Dick Weber Open. He won 4 matches as the number 5 seed to win his 4th career title. Leaves the 7. But Scroggins firmly in control of this match from the outset.
And keeping it in play, and this is a good shot right here. Ringing 7 Otherwise, he would have had a double, and he would have been in the 220s. Right now, firm control and covers the single pin spare. He's got it going on.
Remember, single pin spares were a bit of a bugaboo for him earlier this season.
His last win prior to the Dick Weber Open was in 2005 at the Masters. He went on some kind of losing streak.
This time, baby. Come on.
It's back.
Row, Raggy. Row.
At the end of this week's 4 qualifying rounds, he was never lower than second place.
Yeah, pretty strong week for this guy. He was either in first or in second the entire week. Had a losing record in match play and still qualified number 2 for the show.
Looking for a turkey here. 3 in a row.
Looking to cut the lead to 10.
That's better. Come on. Get up it. Oh. You gotta be kidding me.
Worst break in bowling right here. Solid 8. I've got a lot of experience with leaving these on television. Watch this. That's like getting kicked right in the gut. A shot that seems absolutely perfect. Abnormal pin carry as the pins go through the back of the pit. The bowling ball goes right by the 8 pin. And in my opinion, again, the worst break in bowling, next to a pocket 7-10.
This will be Scroggins' 6th top 10 finish of the season. You see his last 12 TV matches, 0 for 8, and then 4-0. Looking to go 5-0 with the win here. Speaking of rut row.
Pretty good shot.
Interesting. He thinks it's a pretty good shot, and he goes right through the nose, leaving the 4-6-10 and letting Walter Ray right back into this match.
Well, his shot for a clean game just about over right now. Doesn't really even attempt to take care of the spare and goes for points instead.
Got to shake that shot off, come back with your Sunday best right here and get right back into this. Keep the pressure and the lead on Walter Ray Williams Jr. Like that. Nicely done. Way to come back after that shot. In the 7th frame, this is high flush. Perfect.
With the win, Scroggins would move from 6th to 4th in the Player of the Year points race. Williams is going to be number 1 at the end of the day. But he is not, I mean, those 7s and the 10s. Just annoying gnats today.
And the solid 8. It's apparent that these pins here at Thunder Alley have no idea who's throwing the bowling ball at them, because this carry is pretty bad.
Carry has been very strong.
Oh, absolutely. Carry's been good all week. The scores in the average 12-300 games. You don't have 12-300 games for the week if you have bad pin carry. Right now, Walter Ray Williams Jr. is having bad pin carry.
Well,
You look at the solid 8 in the 7th frame. He carries that hit. This match, he's actually got the lead in this match. Carries that blower 7, which he normally does. Got a big lead. And that looked like a bad shot off his hand. Looked like he missed it just a little bit. If you look at his follow-through just didn't look right. Watch his follow-through and what his arm does as he lets go of this bowling ball.
pretty impressive. I think it was more taps than I had in the first round.
To me, that looked a little strange. And again, another week 10. And right now, the best Walter Ray can do if he strikes out in the 10th frame is 206.
You have to wonder if there is more to that right wristband than meets the eye. Again, we're not used to seeing Walter Ray wear that, and that's not a sweatband. That is an actual kind of form of a brace. There's Velcro and a wrap around, and that is not something he normally wears, but we haven't heard him or seen him use that as an excuse today.
and he didn't comment on it during our meetings with him. He didn't say or mention anything about it. Right now, Mike Scroggins can step up and win this tournament 9th and 10th frame.
Double for Scroggy.
What a shot. That puts him in the 2 teams, and right now, he just needs a mark. As he takes a re-rack, he's going to gather his thoughts. He wants to make the best shot possible. He needs any mark in the 10th frame, and he's going to win for the 2nd time this season.
1 title and 8 TV shows in Scroggins' first 13 seasons. 3 titles and 20 televised appearances over the last 5 seasons. A late bloomer as Mike Scroggins needs a mark to shut out and a mark to go over $1 million in career earnings.
$1 million shot right here.
Come on, one time!
Just a spare. All he needs is a spare. If he misses this, Walter Ray can step up in the 10th frame and win. He must convert this 7-pin. Or excuse me, the 10-pin.
Takes care of the 10, and he does not mathematically have the title. So he puts himself in a very good spot.
Three pins to win. I think Mike Scroggins can handle that. Way to take advantage of the bad carry by Walter Ray Williams Jr. Mike Scroggins with the only hiccup in the 7th frame. Needs 3.
That one's Will.
Got it! $1 million man right there, baby.
Mike Scroggins, career title number 5 and 2nd of the season. Has never won multiple titles in a season until now. Remember, he won the Motel 6 Dick Weber Open, coming all the way from that 5 seed slot. This week, a little bit easier. 1 game, 1 win, 1 more title.
His first career title came back in 1992 in Sacramento, California.
There we go, Randy.
What are you going to do?
Walter Ray with the
What's he
shout
doing?
out.
Two-handed. I love it.
Oh, we were practicing
I love it.
the other day.
Get it! Come on. You need some more practice for that. Thanks for the shout-out, though, Walter Ray.
But Ray's the hardware, Mike Scroggins. This win moves him up 2 spots to number 4 in the Player of the Year points race. And he is now the 38th millionaire in the history of the PBA. 214 to 191, and the title goes to Mike Scroggins. We take a look at our CLR clean sweep from the title match.
Mike Scroggins doing everything right except for that 7th frame, but beautiful strikes, kicking that 7-pin out.
7 strikes in the title match for Scroggins. And how does this start shaping things up for next week in Indy with our 3rd major of the season?
Well, I think the Player of the Year race is still wide open, although Walter Ray and Chris Barnes are at the top. But you got to look at guys like Mike Scroggins, too. He's got a lot of confidence going into next week.
And live coverage of the Denny's World Championship from Indianapolis coming your way here on ESPN next Sunday at 12:30 Eastern. Omaha, we thank you for a wonderful outing. Sold-out crowd here at Thunder Alley. Mike Scroggins taking tour title number 5. For Randy Peterson and our entire ESPN crew, I'm Rob Stone. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports.